Good day everyone. So in this video, we are going to talk about the types of quantitative research. There are four kinds of quantitative research. We have descriptive, comparative, the true experimental, and the quasi-experimental. First, we have the descriptive research. It provides a description and exploration of phenomena in real-life situation and characteristics. It aims to observe and report on a certain phenomenon, type of behavior, or trait as it takes place. Meaning, when little is known about the topic, or when the subject is exploratory in nature, it is best to use the descriptive research. An example of descriptive research is a description of how parents feel about online learning of their children. Next is the comparative research. It is a systematic investigation of relationships between two or more variables used. It attempts to determine the extent of a relationship between two or more variables. Remember that it also does not show cause and effect relationship, but rather we only get the association of the variables. Also, it examines the differences in two or more groups. So, a good example of this is the relationship between age and height. We use comparative research to look into the linear relationship between the two variables. If our age increases, thus our height increases too. We look into that in this kind of research. Thirdly, we have the true experimental research. And unlike the past two kinds of quantitative research, this kind of research aims to establish causal relationship among variables. It determines cause and effect relationship. You also need to take note that in this kind of quantitative research, participants are randomly assigned. Also, it involves two groups, which is the control group and experimental group. This experimental group is the one being given the treatment. And both groups can be given a post-test and a pre-test. So, to further elaborate, we have this example, the effectiveness of video tutorials in the academic grades of the students. Let's say for an instance that we are going to do this kind of example I gave. So, let's say that it relates to the subject general mathematics. We want to measure the causal relationship among the two variables, which is the video tutorial and the academic grades of the students in general mathematics. So, in starting our hypothetical research, on Monday, we gave the two groups a pre-test. On the following day, on Tuesday, we gave the experimental group a treatment, which is the video tutorials about general mathematics. While on the following day, Wednesday, we already gave the two groups a post-test. And after collecting data and analyzing it, the results have shown that the experimental group has higher post-test scores than the control group. And it can be concluded that this is because of the treatment given to them, which is the video tutorial. Therefore, the treatment has an effect on the accumulated scores of the students. That is an example of a true experimental research. And now, let's dig into the last one. We have the quasi-experimental research. This kind of quantitative research bears resemblance to a true experimental research, as it also aims to determine causal relationships among variables and also includes two groups, the control group and the experimental group that the treatment is being given, and lastly, it also involves conduct of pre-test and post-test. But the difference of the two is that in this kind of research, participants are not randomly assigned. This means that you have the power to select and choose who will be participating in your study. To further elaborate it and to make it more understandable, let us use the past example. So we want to know the causal relationship between the video tutorial and the academic grades of the students in general mathematics. So in the past example, the results have shown that the experimental group had higher scores than the control group. But there can be a possibility that the reason why the scores of the experimental group are higher compared to the control group is because the majority of the participants in the experimental group are naturally good in math, and video tutorial has nothing to do with it. So, in quasi-experimental, we could equalize it. We could select and choose participants that has same academic performance and same grades in general mathematics and use them for this study. That is all for today. Thank you for listening.